Hey internet, can I address the internet as hey internet? That's fine, right? They're a monolith. They're all the same. They're just out in the audience. This is episode 29 of Salient Points for July 9th, 2021. I'm your host, Carlos Macias. My co-host, as per usual, up in the mountains, Dalan Kirkwood. Thank you for joining me, sir.
We got our internet fixed.
What, something's happening, right? You're doing all right. Dalan, you okay over there? You're looking at your action figures. Are you particularly proud of them?
No more towel right now.
I like it though. I like it, dude.
Smash Brothers. Yeah.
Your background's looking nice, Dalan.
Give you some better visuals now that we're recording ourselves.
I would never question you being a gamer, dude. I would never question you. I would never question, especially with all this background situation you got going on. And we do have Luis, the man on the wheels of steel here. We missed you last week, Luis. I don't know if you listened last week, but we were. Oh damn! Whoa! I wasn't gonna go.
I've been gone for like 2 episodes. 2 weeks,
okay, but that's fair. Look, I don't know if you want to tell the internet why. Luis Mendez, do you want to? You can. We missed you, but
it's just work, man. We're crunching. We're getting ready, gearing towards launch. So.
And I think you kind of always shoot me like a message. You're like, oh my bad, I can't make it. I'm like, no. Your thing is more important than this dumb little thing we do on the internet. But look, we'll get right to it. The big thing for Thursday, Sony had their State of Play. They had another one of these. They kind of, they were promoting it for a while. They didn't really do much at E3. Actually, they didn't do anything at E3, right? So this is like the show. This is the thing. The biggest thing I know... for me, we could just start off right off the bat with Deathloop is kind of like the main game on there. They had quite a few minutes of gameplay, and it's coming out September 14th, 2021. So that's going to be their big fall game, I would say, since they've kind of pushed things out of the way, right? But we'll start with you guys. Dalan, what did you think, man? What did you think of what you saw?
Honestly, there were more games there that I was actually more excited to see in one sitting than E3. So that's kind of a sad thing to say. It's like I was more involved in this State of Play than I was at E3.
But
E3, I wanted to skip around.
You're a PlayStation fan, though, too, right? These are.
It's not just the fact that I like PlayStation. I don't care the fact that it's on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Though, don't get me wrong, PlayStation, keep doing what you do. Obviously, open up freaking crossplay. But the fact being is that
hashtag free crossplay. Hashtag free crossplay.
Free crossplay.
Also, don't trigger the compensation. Make sure you guys are avoiding triggering the compensation. What about Deathloop specifically, though, Dalan?
Deathloop specifically, when it was first announced, I was very iffy on it, especially after so many roguelike games that had come out. I figured this was just going to be another roguelike with but first person or third person shooting. And it had the nice cartoonish feel of, I want to say, Fortnite and things like that. Or Team Fortress, whatever that game was.
It's very stylized, right? It's very stylized, but it looks good.
Yeah,
and it's kind of in that style of Arcane. Arcane sort of does that style with Prey and... what was it, Prey, or a little more realistic, but definitely Dishonored, right, was kind of sort of in this style.
But my problem is that the art style that it had combined with the roguelikeness and knowing very little about the game, it was actually a bit of a turnoff. But actually seeing the gameplay this time around and knowing that it's more one player focused and the way that you could actually traverse the place, even though it's very much Dishonoring, it actually looked like a bit of fun. So I'm a person that loves a game that has time issues. Mm-hmm. So if you could have a game that has good time issues, I might just try it out.
What is it? Live, Die, Repeat? You looking for that Tom Cruise game in your life?
Edge of Tomorrow.
And Emily Blunt, which they changed the name of that movie a few times, right? I think they eventually
Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah,
eventually
right.
They settled on a name, right? So we got to give them a shot there. Luis, what did you think of what you saw, man, as far as Deathloop is concerned?
I've already kind of been interested in it already. It's not a game that I'm like super hyped for, reasonably hyped. A little shout out to the new show, but
I like it.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks cool. I saw enough. I don't need to see much more. So pick it up at some point. Probably not day
Well, are
one.
you on blackout, Luis? Is that what's happening? You on blackout?
I've
Do
been
you-
on
do you-
Blackout.
Oh, for
Like,
Deathloop. Okay. You know, Deathloop. From what I saw, it actually. I was just looking at it before we went live. It looks really cool. It looks cool, but you guys know me, man. When it comes to these roguelikes, it's got to convince me. There's a couple of bad things going against this game for me. First of all, the roguelike aspect, and you're kind of. It looks like you're rewinding time, or you're kind of live, die, repeat, right? And the second thing, it's an Arcane game. I'm not a fan of Arcane. I'm just not. I didn't like Dishonored. I didn't like Prey. But maybe this is it. Maybe this is the game that convinces me. It's definitely game flyable for me, I feel. It's one of those, like, I'll game fly it. We'll see if it convinces me. And we'll go from there. That was a bit. Go ahead, Dalan. Do you have something?
Well, I was just going to say, the one thing I hope it does do is the same thing that Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask did, is that you had 3 days of everything happening, and it's all happening at the same time. And if that is the case, and you have to go to each area and figure out what's happening throughout the day, that's awesome to me. As long as it keeps happening in the same way. I don't want it to be a roguelike, like you said. I don't want it to keep changing every single time, especially if you're supposed to bog down how you're supposed to kill these people. If they end up switching it up how you're supposed to kill these people, then whatever you learned previously is now out the window. What's the point of that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure what I saw from the initial trailer is it changes every time. So
we'll see. We're very like you were saying, Luis. We're reasonably hyped about it. We're reasonably hyped. So I want it to be cool, and I think it's the Sony big game, right? This would be their big game, right? And I did like how a quick shout out to Wario64 out there. He was actually calling it Microsoft's Deathloop because Arcane is under the Bethesda umbrella. Is this a Bethesda published and? It's I don't know. We'll see.
It is.
So so I think he was right in calling it Microsoft's Deathloop, but we'll see. I'm kind of I do like the style of it. It kind of gets me on there, but it already has a couple strikes against it. We'll see when it drops later this year. The next one, this one's probably the biggest reveal for me, is Moss 2. They finally revealed Moss 2 for PlayStation VR. They didn't say if that's going to be a big deal on PSVR 2 or anything like that. They don't even have a release date. I will say Moss 2 came out like little soon after the PlayStation VR first release, and that game is short, man. It's like 2 hours. Yes, Moss 1, my bad. And that Moss 1 was very quick game. You get played through that thing. You get blazed through it in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But that's definitely one of my favorite PSVR games. And it's funny because at the very end of that game, they're already like promoting Moss Book 2. So we already knew this was coming. And it's what, 3-4 years later? Dalan, did you like Moss? What about this announcement got you?
So a few things. One, I didn't even know that they were making a Moss 2, simply because I didn't beat Moss 1. I got pretty far in it, but there were way too many things happening during that time. VR, I had just gotten the VR. I mean, the 2 games that even convinced me to get a VR was Super Hot VR and Moss. That's the only reason I even got a VR, and then I started playing other games. So I was really excited to find out that they were making a Moss 2. It looks a little more cartoony than Moss 1 did, but I don't care. I'm gonna play it.
It's still Tell of Despero, the sequel, right? Despero. There you go. Thank you very much. I put that the review I did for Monstervine way back in the day for it. I remember talking to you about it. You're like, it's like Tell of Despero, and I put that in my review, Dalan. So it's a little shout out. I hope I gave you some credit. I think I'm pretty sure I said a friend of mine or something. I didn't pay.
I'm sure you gave me no credit.
I didn't put your real name in there. I didn't want to dox you like that. Plus, I didn't want to give you that much credit. But I'm pretty sure I put it on there. Plus, I didn't know you that well at the time. But we can move on, Dalan.
They know me since high school is not knowing me that well. That's fine.
That's fair. So the next one, this was kind of interesting, and it's kind of like I was thinking, like, when does the other shoe drop? So they did announce a Death Stranding director's cut that's gonna be kind of like the special PlayStation 5 version of the game. And the whole time I was looking at it, I was like, they're charging $50, $60, $70, whatever it is from it. There's no upgrade path. And at some point, and I don't know if they actually revealed it or they didn't really make that big of a deal in the actual video, but online people were saying like, no, for $10 you'll be able to upgrade from standard version to the PlayStation 5 Director's Cut. So thank you very much for that Christmas gift, Dalan. I will be making full use of that and upgrade to the PS5 Director's Cut. Luis,
Hey,
this
man,
is...
you were talking about how you put like 3 hours in that game and then you traded it back, and then all you talked about for a full month was that game. So I figured you needed it.
I did the GameStop like love it or return it thing for it, and I actually got them to give me real cash back. I think now they give you a credit or some kind of nonsense. Yeah. But I remember at the time I was like, I played 13 hours of this game over 2 days, so it must have been kind of decent. I still returned it because at some point I was like, man, I don't know if I like it that much. But Luis, what did you think of this announcement, man?
Yeah, at first I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was just expecting that regular, remastered thing, similar to like what they did with Final Fantasy. Just, better graphics, better frame rate, better textures, that kind of stuff. But the more that the trailer kept going, it got wackier and wackier.
Yeah.
There's like, all of a sudden there's a cannon. Now they upgraded the combat system. There's a new gun. There's a shooting range. There's racing for some reason. There's like all these straps.
Why not? So
I'm like, for $10, I don't know if I'd pay full retail price to play that game again for $10.
Well, that's what I was thinking too the whole time, right? There's like these, we'll keep it child friendly here, but these guys are like, they're gonna be like $70, right, or some. And then it came out that it was like, it's $10 to upgrade. I'm down enough for the changes they're making, the little updates to it. So you do have a copy of the game, right, at least? And did you beat it? Did you play through the whole thing, or?
Yeah, I got a physical copy, Carlos, for the PS4. Beat that thing. Played it over the course of, I don't know, like a month. It was a long game. Well, I mean, I took my sweet ass time with it, but yeah.
Okay.
So I'll replay it.
I'm gonna comment for both you on the things that you've just said. For Luis, this is mainly based on Luis.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
I don't know if you ever played some of Kojima's older stuff, but one of the main ones where I realized that he loves his wacky stuff was his director's cut of Metal Gear Solid 2. Because he made Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. He loves his wacky names first off.
And we like the wackiness. We're all about the wackiness around here.
In that game, you could do Tony Hawk skateboarding with Snake.
Well, but I don't think... correct me if I'm wrong, Luis, but I don't think that's what you're referring to, right?
No,
you're referring to the updates, right? Like the actual legitimate like updates, or you're actually talking about real wackiness.
Well, but they are core gameplay features. They're not just like in there to use a skateboard.
Now you're snowboarding. Now you're snowboarding. Now you're delivering pizza.
Kojima is known for throwing that wacky stuff in his games when he gets his chance.
Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, you could use a banana to like hold people up at gunpoint.
He's not opposed to the wackiness, dude. But you know what? I never did beat the game, and I'm sort of glad now because I'll dip into it now. I'll wait around for this.
You get to experience the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure like, what? Where was I again? Oh, this is where I was. The other thing, Lost Judgment, which is a sequel to Judgment, is coming out September 24th. That's going to be a global launch with, I think this is one of those things where the Judgment series and the Yakuza series, it's a matter. They're pretty big, man. They're getting pretty big. They're kind of Japanese. They're for the most part kind of Japanese focused games, but for some reason they're like, you know what? Give the people what they want, and they want this, right? So day and date, we're getting Judgment. I think we had to wait a few months before they actually localized it and brought it to the States. Is this a big deal for you, Dan? Did you play the original? Or what do you think of this?
I was going to ask you. I was actually going to ask you about it, Carlos, because I know you played the original, and I forgot that Judgment was anything like Yakuza. I just forgot because I kind of stayed away from it. And then I saw the trailer for it, or at least the video on the State of Play, and I was like, man, they're making this game look good.
Yeah, those graphics were stupidly nice, dude. Those graphics were looking stupidly nice. I was like, oh, damn, okay.
So my question to you, Carlos, which is the hinge point of me going back to play Judgment, was that game fairly short, or was it a long game?
Dude, just like the Yakuza games, dude, you're in for a long haul, man. You're in for a long haul. But I will say this is like next on my like to-do list or my backlog is Judgment before this next one comes out, dude, because I already know it's gonna take me a little while. And I'm kind of in between. I don't know if I just go ahead and play the PS4 version or maybe like plunked down for the PS5 edition one, which I think I see it on sale for like $25. They don't do an upgrade path. They're like, they're just kind of like Sony. It's like, no, screw you guys. You guys get to pay full
Part 2 is gonna be on the next one.
Yeah, you guys get. Well, no, I'm talking about the original Judgment. They updated it for PS5, and there was no upgrade path. But I think
you gotta buy a new copy.
You just gotta buy it. But I think at least it was $40. So I might grab it for that $25. I don't, because I never did beat it, the original. But Last Judgment looks good. Next up here is they showed a little bit more of a Demon Slayers, the video game that's coming out October 15th. If you guys saw the clip or the video, it's really based on the mansion. I hope there's not not spoilers, right? There's one of the enemies in that show. It's kind of like they go into a mansion, right? And they spend an episode or two in a mansion.
I think that was just the focus of the video in this case, but I think they go through most of the story.
I think from what I've read is that they kind of go through the highlights of it, so they don't do the whole thing. Which I'm not saying that it is just in the mansion, right? But I don't think they go like beat to beat through the whole story. Right? That's a lot of episodes. But what did Luis? What did you think, man? From what you saw, you got to check out the trailer.
I was actually kind of surprised. I thought, from what I had seen previously, I thought it was just going to be like a fighting game, like you play against your friends or computer or something. Similar to, like Dalan mentioned, it was similar to like that Pokemon Pokken tournament. I forgot what it was called.
Pokken tournament.
Pokken tournament. Okay. It's a little throwback.
No, I think I ended up associating it with what was it, Shonen Jump? That Shonen Jump game that's on Switch. The one that has like One Piece and DBZ and all that stuff on it. That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, so it kind of caught me off guard that it looked like it was going to be sort of story-based elements to it, and I was caught off guard or surprised also on the fact that it was like going through that episode of the anime. So, but yeah, looks cool.
Yeah. Are you a fan of the series, Lise? Did you watch the series, the movie, all that stuff, or?
Yeah, I watched the series. I haven't seen the movie yet. I thought the anime was pretty okay.
Okay, that's reasonable. They explain a lot, dude. Like they do in a lot of Japanese stuff. They explain a lot.
For any time you watch an anime, if you could say pretty okay, they're doing pretty good. Because there are way too many animes where it's a stark difference of pretty okay, and if it wasn't pretty okay, it was a complete dumpster fire.
Now, Lise, I will say this. I don't know if you know the movie is actually like a follow-up, so it is something to watch. It's a continuation.
It's like picks up right where the one ended up. But
yeah, and
I'll say I thought it was pretty okay because everybody was hyping that shit up like forever. Like it's the best anime. It's so amazing. I watched it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good.
I don't watch much.
You couldn't get excited for it yourself.
I don't watch much anime, and that's one of the ones that are like, hey, you know what? I'll watch it. Fine, it's fine. And I actually watched the series, and we missed it on IMAX because I was catching up. My bad, Dalan. I was catching up to the series. It took me a while. So many episodes. We missed the IMAX showing, but that thing, even on a regular screen, was kind of beautiful, man. It was kind of amazing to see on the big screen. And my favorite thing was we showed up. I didn't tell Dalan crap. I didn't tell him, you know what, whatever. Right? I didn't tell Dalan shit. We showed up, and he sees that like they're talking Japanese, and you see him like slouched down on his chair. It's like, oh, we're gonna be hearing them talk Japanese this whole time. I was like, yes.
I did not mind that. Okay. I didn't mind that at all. I was perfectly fine with that. I think it was Jeremy Lowe who was like,
He didn't say much. I heard you complain. Anyways, Dalan, what did you think of the clip of this gameplay clip that they showed for the Demon Slayer game?
Actually, this last state of play clip is what got me interested, and I might actually go off and buy the game simply because I said it in our previous some of our previous episodes. When you have an anime video game based on an anime, it's normally to just get money. But in this case, as I've watched trailers, it has actually gotten me more and more interested. It looks like they're actually doing a good job in progressing in this game. So I'm fully down to play this game now. And if you want to let me borrow your copy, that's
Dalan,
fine.
let me put it to you like this, Dalan. This is also a straight up cash grab. Let's not get that twisted.
No,
let's not get it twisted. This is a complete.
Actually put some work into this.
Look. Let's further not get it twisted. This is not like an Uncharted game. This is not a Last of Us. This is a cash grab. This is a third-person action adventure. The mechanics look okay to me. I will GameFly it. I will gamefly it, and we'll see how it goes. But it's definitely one of those. It's a curio for me, kind of like I want to check it out, see what they do with it. But it's definitely not a day one. I need to be there and get it day one type of thing. It's more of a kind of a passive interest because I like the series, right?
Is this going to be a $60 game price, or is it a $40 game price?
I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. That's what's gonna determine the quality too, right? It's like it's $40. Like, okay, let me set my expectations accordingly. The next one they showed, this was a brand new reveal. It was called Jett: The Far Shore. It's a new game from Super Brothers. The last game, I was looking up the list of their games. Like, I've heard their name. The last game they worked on was 2011's Sword and Sorcery. That was like an iPad game. It was, I don't know if you guys have ever played that game. It's beautiful. It's very pixely. It was before everyone was doing pixelated, cute, quirky graphics. So it was pretty cool, and it was touch-based. But some of the crap is like, what do I do next? What do I do next? But anyways, that was their last game. It looked okay. I mean, the more I saw of it, the more I was like, it's just like another No Man's Sky type of situation.
I don't know why you put the. Oh, that's what you mean by that. I'm like, that game looked nothing like No Man's
No.
Sky.
It looked like they're doing some kind of. No. They're not. It doesn't look like No Man's Sky. But
You're confusing people, Carlos.
I was getting Well, people don't know. You guys just mentioned it. They don't see the rundown here that we're looking at. But No Man's Sky in the sense that I'm like, they're doing some procedurally generated or some kind of nonsense is happening with this. But what about you, Dalan? Was this something that kind of interests you, or what did you think of the reveal?
Well, every so often I see an indie game that actually piques my interest because it looks like it could be a new type of thing for me. And when it comes to mainly exploration and not trying to get into fights, it made me feel like they were doing like a type of Star Trek way of going about it. So I was actually very interested to actually see how this game turns out and play it. So I'm very much down to try this game. So there was another game that it reminded me of. I currently can't remember the name of it for whatever reason. It was just a straightforward. You were basically like a bird on a little ship, and you were just dodging pillars the whole time, and you were just going straight for the sunset, and you had to get as far as you can.
It might have been called like Race to the Sun or something. Was it on Vita?
Race to the Sun. It was Race to the Sun.
Something. Yeah. You gotta love. Hey, you gotta love that shit, man. Just a straightforward.
Race to the Sun was exciting and it was fun. Just a straightforward game.
But even the title, right? The title straightforward is like, you're racing to the sun, man. What else do you need to know? I think I might have tried it once, and it might have been free, right, or something on Vita.
No, it was just cheap. It was like $5.
Possibly, but I remember I kind of played anything that came out on Vita. I had a passive interest. I might have even bought it, but I played it once and I was like, this is. I mean, I tried to race to the sun. I couldn't make it. But go ahead, Dave. Before we move on.
Anyways, I saw the trailer for this. Obviously didn't know it was coming out because it was an indie game, but it gave me those same vibes as Race to the Sun, so that made me really interested in it. So regardless if it's not super action packed, I'm down to try it.
Yeah.
If it's captivating enough, I might just beat it.
All right, there you go. And you can let me know how it goes. I'll take your feedback on this.
Let me know.
You let me know, because it's definitely, I'm not sure about that. But, I wish every game is good. I wish every game is great. So the next one here is, I've kind of been looking forward to this one. It's called Sifu. It was delayed. It's been delayed to early 2022, but we're okay with delays out here. As long as everyone's treated equally and everyone's treated fairly at work and there's no crunch, we can delay everything, right? Anyway, we don't need to go down that path. I did like how they revealed it was kind of like a Fight Club scene in the trailer and the clip that they showed, and at the very end they showed 2021 and you see the date roll up and it's like boom, early 2022. It's like, why did you guys reveal it that way? Why did you do that?
But 2022 to begin with. Just forget the fact that you were ever going to release it in 2020.
Yeah, why even show that and then disappoint people by flipping the page and it was like early 2022?
You know why? I'll tell you guys why.
right, tell me.
Because I saw it and I honestly, it didn't even register until I read on Twitter that it got delayed. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, I just saw the date going like,
People didn't even know.
I'm like, oh yeah, I've been seeing that happen the whole video when he dies. You know, he ages or whatever. So I just saw the date change, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like it didn't even register that it was delayed a year or whatever.
I think it's like maybe like I think
he's on top.
I think it's like half a year, right, or whatever. But the game looks kind of cool. It looks really simple. It looks indie-ish, but it looks like it has probably pretty nice mechanics. I'm not expecting nothing too complicated. It has promise. But we'll go with you, Luis, first. What did you think of what you saw, man?
It's releasing on PS4, dude. And PS5.
What does that mean? Like,
I'm just saying, I'm tired of all these developers releasing games.
We had this
PS4.
conversation, Luis. It's gonna happen for a while.
Wait, what?
Frustration, right?
But what's the beef? If you could help me out a little bit here.
I just want them to give the power to the players. Just build something that's on the PlayStation 5. Okay. Don't get limited by any old hardware, whatever. Okay. I know Horizon devs said they weren't limited in their creative decision.
You know what? Real quick on that Horizon thing. I think what they meant, and I hope to believe them, is that you know how when they used to make Guitar Hero tracks and Rock Band. I don't know if you guys ever read any interviews on kind of how they worked on those tracks, but they would say how the way they would master the track or the way they would kind of create the gameplay of it is they would start doing it by like the hardest one. That's where they started, and they started paring it down a little bit from there to hard mode, normal mode, easy mode, and that's what I hope. That's what I hope from Horizon. But I definitely feel you. Let's just move on to the next generation. But did you look at Sifu, man? I mean, I don't think that's definitely like holding them back.
Need to be on next generation.
Yeah,
I did see it. We went on a whole deviation there that I wasn't planning on.
I like it though.
It was bothering you, Luis. We understand.
I like it though.
But it looks cool. Like the combat. I'm not sure if it was just like gameplay visuals or if there actually is going to be no UI on the screen because it was just people fighting on the screen.
It's pretty cool, man.
But combat looks to be like the core gameplay mechanic, and it looks to be pretty solid. Animations look pretty good. The punching, I'm not sure. It sounds a little, the sound effects. Yeah. But we'll see.
And you know what? And it is one of those. It's pretty much a roguelike. I mean, it's a roguelike where you're aging every time you die, right? You can kind of see the stick to it. But I don't know. Maybe it's one I might like. I hope that the mechanics have to be strong, right? The mechanics, and it looks like there's sort of a story. And honestly, look, anytime you put these kind of graphics in like a melee sort of combat that not a lot of games do, where you put the focus on it, and you make it look like what's the Refn, the director? He did Drive. He did Only God Forgives. Like, you give me something like that, I'm in. I'm down for it. Dalan, what are your thoughts, man, before we move on to the next thing?
Well, in regards to that aging thing, I kept thinking to myself, well, are they gonna end the game if you die too many times and you age out? I mean, how old can you get in this game before they say, you know what, you're gonna have to start over? But in regards to the game itself, I was kind of a huge fan of Rise to Honor, even though that game didn't get the type of attention it deserved. Yes, I was a fan of Rise to Honor. I mean, I'm just a fan of Jet Li and just in general. But
and that's the one where you sent out a dog to attack too, right?
What?
No, was that?
You're thinking of Dead to Rights.
Oh, Dead to Rights. Dead to Rights. Okay, my bad. Okay, go ahead.
Rise or Jet Li. Yeah. But it was just basically you flip the sticks and you kick and punch at people. But if you can create a good battle system and a fair story, it might not be the perfect story, especially if you're doing a game where if you get beat up and knocked out, you come back half a year later after you've recovered from the hospital. Anyways, that's what I imagine in my head as the time goes on. I'm like, I'm down to play this. I've been waiting for this from the day they announced this game. So
well, and I think
it's happy that they actually have at least a general time frame. They might have a specific date like they did with one game that's coming out in December, but at least they have a general time frame instead of just, postponing it and not giving us anything.
Well, and I think it's one of those games where it's obviously from an indie house, right? It's keep your expectations in check, right? But that being said, right, it's something that they, focus on what the core mechanic is and have your expectations in check. And I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to have to wait on that one. And we're okay with things getting delayed because everyone needs to not do crunch. The other one that looks pretty cool to me, I know you guys didn't seem too interested in it, but there's a game called Fist Forged in Shadow. It's like a 2D, it's a side scroller. It's coming out September 7th, PS5 and PlayStation 4, at least. I know, how much you like that. But to me, it looks amazing, man. To me, it reminds me of Shadow Complex. It reminds me of I don't know if this one's Metroid-y. It looks a little more straightforward than that. But if it's a Metroidvania type of game, I'm in, man. I'm all in for this one. I don't know if this was an official reveal of it or what it was, but I'm down for it. The other thing that they showed on here was Arcadegeddon. I think they pronounced it at some point. Arcadegeddon. Yeah. It's supposed to be up to 4-player co-op. It's actually in early access now, so I think I might have some time after this podcast if you guys want to try it out.
It's Fortnite.
It's Fortnite-ish. We'll go with you first, Dalan. What did you think of what they showed from it?
That was it. It's Fortnite.
Okay. No, that's the tweet. It's Fortnite.
It's Fortnite. Okay. It's basically,
okay.
If they're trying to compete with Fortnite, they're trying to jump into that game and see if they can knock them out somehow. Okay. But no, I mean, there are probably going to be plenty of people that play that game. But with Fortnite still being a major juggernaut, I don't know how long that game's going to last.
What about you, Lise? What did you?
You don't build walls, Dalan.
Dude, okay.
Oh yeah, dude, I hate that's why I don't play Fortnite.
Building.
That's why I don't play Fortnite, dude. You guys are out here putting me to build. I'm not down. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to play this game for a week and then never play it with you guys again. You know?
What's the All-Star Destruction All-Stars? Like we played it once or twice.
Knockout City, all those games. We always just go back to Rocket League, man.
Because it's a classic. And both of those are classic. I will say Knockout League. Is it called Knockout League? Knockout City. Yeah, that one's pretty good, man. We got to go back to that one at some point, but it's definitely a classic. Hey, and you know what's funny? We were messing with Jeremy about it because he was like Knockout League, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So anyways, that was a Sony's state of play. You all right over there, Dalan? Survive, Dalan. So
you made me laugh, and snot came out of my nose.
So that was basically what we were interested as far as like Sony state of play this week. And
nasty. I'm sorry.
But I mean, you know what? I think that as far as the expectations for this thing, I think they set them pretty much correctly, right? They said you're not gonna see Horizon, you're not gonna see these other big games. It's basically Deathloop plus a bunch of little indies. So as far as that was concerned, did it pretty much meet your expectations, Lise, or was it like whatever? That's fine.
I wasn't paying attention to anything just because I've been working. So I got like the state of play tomorrow, like yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I saw everyone saying like, yeah, it's not going to be Horizon, it's not going to be this. And then Insomniac tweeted like, hey, if you guys want to join us and do like a watch party, join our Discord. And then later went like, by the way, just to clarify, we're not announcing anything. We just want to watch it with you guys.
Just
I just want to be on it.
We're not gonna do what is the one that people keep waiting, Sunset Overdrive or anything like that, right? Dalan,
met my expectations.
What about you, Dalan? Was it pretty much met your expectations of what it was?
I thought the Deathloop video went on a little bit long, but other than that, yeah.
All right. Well, look, the other big story for us this week, and we did do a reasonably hype for it already, but I would like to see your guys' take on it. I know it's kind of a big deal. It's the OLED or the Switch OLED model, which I think is like the official name. Apparently, Nintendo definitely is gonna sell it as Nintendo Switch OLED model. What is the big thing for you here? I know, Luis, you broke it down here on the rundown, man. What can you give us a little more details here?
Well, I don't know if you read my full rundown, but it was specifically about one of the things. So one of the OLED's key selling points can be bought separately. You actually don't need to buy the Switch.
That
OLED.
Was the thing.
So the quote-unquote enhanced Switch OLED dock can be bought separately. No price announced, with the shiny new rounded corners and all. No cables included, as the regular Switch dock right now is. The regular Switch dock sells for 60, and the Ethernet adapter sells for 30. I'm wondering if Nintendo will do this sort of like premium price point by doing you the service of combining the two. If it's going to be more expensive than just buying them separately, because it's not like it'll give you any of the quote-unquote enhanced audio, even though they didn't describe what that meant, or any of the other shit. So, what do you guys think? Is this surprising, or are you just gonna buy the dock instead?
Hey, when I was reading it as they are specifically selling the dock separately. Not that it can be bought separately, but that it has to be bought separately. First off, I think that's stupid as hell. I mean,
they want to give you options. Then do you not want options?
No, hey, just imagine people who don't have a Switch at all. There are people that are out there on freaking Facebook. What is that called? Facebook marketing, Facebook Market. They're out there still trying to get Switches. And now this new Switch comes out. People could buy a new Switch OLED version, which I have a problem with.
OLED model, Dalan. OLED model.
I have a problem with that by itself. But let's stick to the dock for a second.
Yeah.
But the fact is, they're going to go out and try and buy this Switch, and they're going to look at it kind of like they did with the Switch Lite. Like, I can't put this on my dock because, I don't have a dock that fits this thing. Or the other dock for the older Switch, even though they say you can put it on that dock, I don't know how that's really going to impact the Switch, and the fact that it has the same battery but different components. And I know that when there was a third-party Switch dock, it was bricking people's Switches. So I'm not sure how I feel about this adjustment that they're trying to make. I mean, they even made that they made an announcement saying that this thing may not fit with all of your what was the name of that cardboard box thing?
Oh, the Labo.
The Labo. And he's like, it may not fit into all Labo products.
Yeah, as far as this is concerned, I think it's a little funny, right? The Ethernet adapter. I mean, you can get it if you really want it, right? But the fact that it's like it's all in one, we sell it separately. But I think it also could be they do sell the regular dock separately. So I feel like it's just a matter of, well, of course you're going to sell this separately. I don't think they're going to necessarily market it as like, don't you want the adapter? Here you go. Get this. And it'll work on your older Switch. So what is your beef with the OLED, Dalan, model, or the way that they're upgrading?
It's not even OLED. It is not OLED.
Wait. OLED. Why? How? What's this secret information you're aware of that it's not actually organic liquid?
Please to enlighten us.
All right, so
what does the LED stand for? It's organic liquid Ethernet display. Okay, what's your
diodes.
Oh, there you go, emitting diodes. See, there you go.
But my problem with it is that for the OLED screens and the way that they have portrayed them in regards to putting them into HD format is that they're supposed to be able to hit things like 2K or 4K or just a higher resolution. In this case, no. It barely pushed it from 720p to 1080p.
Yeah,
barely.
I think that's a problem issue though. I don't think like OLED. I mean, the OLED was on Vita, man, and Vita was not hitting 2K, 4K or nothing like that. Yet it was looking things beautiful. Yeah. So
in this case, it's just to make the color scheme of the picture quality just look a little bit sharper. That's all it is. And I just don't like the fact that they're using the OLED as a selling point for this new XL Switch.
I mean, it's an OLED model, man. Now. And why? I thought you had secret information about why it's not OLED. It is an OLED.
They should have just called it Switch XL. They would have been fine if they just called it.
So let me get this right, Dalan. Let me get this right. It's not that it's an OLED. It's that you're saying that it's supposed to be running 2K. That's why it can't be OLED.
No,
which that's not the case.
Not Pro. They should have just made their Switch Pro. That's it. They should have just went off and improved the battery life quality and the charging for it. They should have actually enhanced the video quality so that when it's docked, it could actually hit an actual high resolution.
And we're gonna get that in 2013. We're gonna get that in 2013.
I feel like we're not gonna get it.
Oh, we'll get it in 6 months.
You mean the huge kickstand and the huge screen,
the widescreen kickstand, the 7-inch screen.
How long do you guys think until those Joy-Cons drift?
Oh,
you know, you can still use the old Joy-Cons too.
You know what's funny?
Wider, but it's not tall.
You know what's funny? I forget. I should have probably tracked it, but I saw online someone on Twitter was like, "Oh, this is how these joysticks are gonna be coming through," and they show a car drifting, like a white car drifting onto the sea. I was like, oh, those things are gonna drift immediately, dude. They're not fucking around. They didn't upgrade the chip. They didn't upgrade nothing. They just like gave you a prettier screen. But Dalan, I'm disappointed in you. You said you I thought you were gonna say it's not OLED. Turns out it is OLED. You're just upset. We can rewind the tape. Luis, help me out here. Help me out.
I apologize if I said it's not OLED. I felt that it's not true OLED.
Okay, it's reasonable. All right, so with that, Dylan, we can move on. If you guys want some more, me and Dale kind of broke it down a little bit, but I do like the smoke, Dale. I do like the smoke you brought, but me and Dale broke it down also on a reasonably hyped. You can find it on We.com, so please check it out. We're giving you 2 takes on the OLED model. Of the Switch. Dalan, for what you've been playing, I know you didn't put it down on here on the rundown, but is there anything in particular you've been playing this past week?
I haven't been playing anything new. I've been trying my best to beat Star Wars Fallen Order. So I've collected all the chests and all the secrets because they give you a general area of where everything is. And I think I'm actually pretty close to beating the game because I've almost gotten my guy fully upgraded, and I've only really done the story and gone to look for those chests. That's it. So I'm pretty sure I'm almost done with that game. After we're done with our session, I plan on beating that game.
Oh, there you go. I believe in you, Dalan. Don't worry, you'll get there. For me, and before we move on, I think we've both been playing the same game, Luis, so I will say this very quick. I did beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Dalan, you can borrow it. I was hoping to meet up with you over 4th of July weekend or something and let you borrow the copy of the game. I platinumed the game. It's a very fun platinum. It's not very difficult at all. It doesn't even require you to like beat it twice. So it's very you beat it and then you can clean it up, but I had fun with it. Those are the kind of platinums I like, okay? The ones that you don't have to do all 200 missions in Red Dead Redemption to get.
Hold on, I have one question about that because I had the question about it for the beforehand. Do they do that thing where it tells you where everything is later in the game, like you know exactly what planet it's on and the general area that it's in, kind of like what I was saying with Star Wars?
And I remember you mentioned it before. The reason I love the platinum in this so much is that doesn't even matter, man. What do I care about finding all these things after the planet? Because it doesn't.
Could just tell you.
It could just tell you. But look, the real answer to your question, Dalan, is I don't know because that's not part of the platinum path.
It wasn't part of the platinum.
It wasn't part of the platinum path.
It makes it even easier.
I love it, dude. I love seeing the little platinum pop or whatever, you know. And you know, it's not the. You still got to do certain things, right? There's certain criteria, but it's just not super difficult. As the other game I've been playing for this last week that's been on my backlog for a while, Red Dead Redemption 2. So just so you guys know, every time I start a game, I'm kind of look up like what the trophies are a little bit without spoilers. I try to avoid the spoilers. But I looked up some of the stuff for Red Dead Redemption 2 and it's like, no, never getting the platinum for this. This thing is ridiculous. I think you have to get like 200 level in multiplayer. That's hyperbole. I don't know what it is, but it's like you got to max out your online. You got to do all kinds of crap that I'm like, I'm not down for this.
There's a lot of online trophies.
He said, I will beat this game, but I will not.
But I will say it's kind of an amazing game as far as like production values is. It has that weird little inertia thing to it though, where you're like pushing on the analog stick and it's like, why is my dude taking like 5 minutes to finally get going, finally get his motor running? But other than that, once you get used to the mechanics of it, it looks amazing. Even like it came out 2018, it still looks pretty great years later. And I'm definitely getting into it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be a little more friendly with the checkpoint system. Is kind of pretty particular as far as where you can save, but I think the autosave does kind of well enough. Like I've told you guys before, my daughter plays on the PlayStation, so I'll come home and I'm like, all right, let me get back into this mission. She's like, okay, we're on a Sims 4 house right now. We're trying to figure out how to get this person out of a pool now. So I got to reload the game, and and PlayStation doesn't have that quick resume or whatever the Xbox does, where you can have multiple games. Like you're just you can pop in and out. So the PlayStation unfortunately closes it out. But at least you've been replaying through the game, or what in particular have you been doing?
Yeah, third playthrough. Still
wow.
going through that. I'm in chapter 3, I think.
Okay.
So, getting there ish. But yeah, enjoying my third time around, doing things a lot differently. Where they with the honor system or whatever, just basically shooting everything to try to get my honor all the way to the left side.
He said, "Fuck everything! I'm murdering everybody."
So you're not doing a good path. I'm assuming you're not doing like a good path this time around, or.
No, yeah, okay. Like there's just random encounters with people not even related to the story. Just people that are like, "Hey, help me out! My horse died," and then I talk to them like, "I'm not a fucking taxi service, whatever," and then just like run away.
Okay, I like it. Is there do you ever unlock a fast travel in this game?
You do,
kind of.
So there's fast travels built into each town. There's like a hitching post next to train stations, or there's an upgrade to a camp you could do where you have fast travel next to your bed.
I think I'm like chapter 2 though, or I just got into
and also your camp. Like you get a camp in your item wheel site, so you put that down and then you can fast travel from there.
I gotta unlock that immediately, dude, because I'm like, I will say it's beautiful, the game, and honestly, I play with headphones, so the sound is great on it. Even the click 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 click, the horses going, the sounds of nature, quote unquote, or whatever. It's pretty great, so I don't mind it too much. But at some point, I'm like, I just want to get there. I understand it's beautiful, but I just want to get there.
All these tumbleweeds.
I just want to get there, man. It's pretty damn great game. But there is a quick thing that's coming up. There is an update for it coming out on July 13th. It's got Red Dead Online Blood Money. Have you looked into this, Lise? Have you seen much about this? I know you play the online portion of it as well, right?
Yeah, so this is their next expansion, it seems like, to their online story-driven content. So they have a few, I think they've only done 2 expansions on it so far. Well, one expansion, the original release, and then this is the 3rd expansion to that story. So
we can play it together, right? Me and you, I guess, right? We can.
Yeah, we could.
I'm not leveled at all. I don't even know the hitching post. I don't know the fast travel, so you're gonna have to help me.
You're gonna have to figure out some mechanics, Carlos.
But I will say, so these are like a story element multiplayer. As far as what they've done for it before, like a la GTA 5.
Yeah, it's nothing like the heists or anything, but it is, a story mission.
Oh, so you're gonna ask a question. Pose it like a question.
Hey, I did. He understands.
Yeah, that was a question.
Come on, Dalan, what we doing around here, man? You get a nice background, and all of a sudden y'all uppity around here. Okay,
Dalan.
Dalan.
Even tell us what an
OLED but all of a sudden, we're like, okay, he's gonna tell me something that it's not an OLED. It's like, no, it is. It's just not doing 2K. I'm like, yeah, but it's still an OLED though. But anyway, so I'm playing.
Maybe we could play that with Jonathan too, so it'll be us 3.
Okay, I'm down, man, and I'm into it now. So please to catch me now as I'm actually playing it, and it's installed. I think it takes like 300 gigabytes too, or something. Whatever.
It's a huge game, dude.
Whatever it is. So catch me while I'm actually in the game, and we can get down with that. So we'll end it on this next one, the zinger here. I don't know if you guys saw. I thought this was the most hilarious thing, man. So Sony pulled down one of their ads that they put up over the last couple of days, and the PlayStation 5 is upside down in the ad. I'm sure they got heat from the internet, from Twitter Nation, from wherever, Insta, TikTok. I don't know what the kids are using. We're barely doing video around here. But Sony looked at the smoke and they took it down, man. They took it down. But I will say this in their defense. I think they contract out this kind of stuff, though, right? Like, I don't know. Do you guys give them the benefit of the doubt?
No.
That why is this shit upside down?
No, because even if they do contract it out, Sony still has to review and approve it. Right? So somebody just missed it.
That's fair. That's very fair, right? They got to look at it before it actually goes. Like, it's 30 seconds, right? Or whatever the spot is, right? It's not like you're watching a whole movie and you happen to miss it. What about you, Dalan? You'll give them a pass on this or no?
No, that means it's somebody who was trying to put this PlayStation together and obviously did not follow the instructions on the box.
Which there's not really instructions as far as like this is the
But it tells you that
or...
it has the PlayStation symbols where the thing is supposed to stand. Okay. It looks like they didn't even put the stand on it. They just like took out the PlayStation and said, "Oh, there's the disk drive. Let me just put it down."
Oh, that's fair, man. I always try to give people benefit of the doubt, but you guys make some damn compelling cases. All right, this is ridiculous, Sony. I don't know what you guys are doing out here, man. Get your double check system in check. All right. Well, that's been this.
Wait,
go ahead, Dalan. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna put it out there because I've been talking about it in a few previous sessions. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness has started on Netflix, and it's only like 4 or 6 episodes. So
have you watched it?
It just dropped like yesterday. I'm about to watch it, so don't worry about that.
I'm glad we have video because Dan is over here rubbing his chest. He's rubbing his chest, ready to go on it. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We tried to condense it a little bit, but this one is Salient Points. It's kind of our longer form podcast, and reasonably hyped is shorter form, kind of quick hits, quick takes with Deo. And also, I would like you guys to kind of show up on those as well. Whenever you guys feel strongly, when you feel it in when you feel reasonably hyped, I'll splash some cold water on you guys. But yeah, I'm your host, Carlos Macias. Thanks for joining us again this week. And over there, as per usual, up in the mountains, Dalan Kirkwood.
Learn your names.
Yes, and I like the background, Dalan. I like the background. I'm digging it. No more towel. So I'm digging it, man. Look, he's dancing over here. He's excited about Resident Evil Infinite. Luis Mendez, man, I'm happy to have you, man. We missed you the last couple shows, so thanks for being on.
Hell yeah.
All right, see you guys next time.